Hey, welcome to our very first video on the colonial era, the first Americans and the European explorations. Alright, so the archaeological evidence has been discovered that shows that the sea levels were lower and exposed the land bridge between the two continents about 70,000 years ago. This is a land bridge that connects Asia with what is now Alaska. People believe that the proposed different arrival dates of a human, but the evidence indicated that humans lived throughout North America and South America by 10,000 BCE, which means before Common Era, same thing as BC. Native American life prior to geography helped shape the cultures among the Native American people in the Southwest, which is North America. Here we're talking about the tribes tending to be settled in one place and practice agriculture, farming. In the Great Plains of the Midwest, tribes hunted large game like buffalo as well as cultivating food. In the East, the tribes used various water sources for trade, transportation, and fishing, as well as raising crops. In the Middle Ages, European countries expanded beyond their borders. After the Crusades, which introduced Europe to the spices and riches of Asia and Africa, several countries sought a different, more direct route. During this time, at the same time, the Ottoman Empire controlled the land trade routes between Europe and Asia, and they stopped Europeans from trading. Spain, Portugal, England, France, and the Netherlands began searching for a new route via the ocean. So, reason for exploration, expansion. Why do they do it? More wealth, looking for money. Also, more territory, expanding trade, exploring the world. Another thing will be the spreading of Christianity. Factors that encourage exploration: increase in trade and desire for new trade routes, nationalism in Europe, population rebounded after the Black Plague, which means there's more people, more opportunity they're looking for different things. Increase in knowledge and scientific curiosity during the Renaissance period also. New technology that allowed the exploration to come about is compass, globe, rudder for the ship, improved shipbuilding design and technique, quadrant, which is the improved ability to determine the latitude based on the altitude of the stars, maps from foreign countries, Marco Polo's writings, and gunpowder weapons, which allowed the Europeans to conquer the natives. So here's a quick map of different explorers that are around the world. Probably want to pause right here and take a look at it. Portuguese starts it out, led by Prince Henry, who financed and sent several expeditions along the west coast of Africa. Bartolome Diaz was the first person to sail around the southern tip of Africa in 1488. Vasco da Gama was the first one to sail to India by going around the southern tip of Africa a year later. Portuguese sailing costs decreased and the profits increased after the route to India was established. Made a lot of money doing it. Spanish, led by Christopher Columbus, who happens to be an Italian, convinced the king and queen of Spain to fund an expedition to find a direct route to Asia. Portuguese has sailed the routes around Africa and therefore dominated this particular route. At the time, maps of the world did not include Americas, did not exist for them. So this is the Columbus voyage. Pause here, going to take a look at it. Columbus and his crew arrived in the New World probably in Bahamas, what is now Bahamas in the Mediterranean. It was called the New World because at the time no European were exploring at this time. Vikings had explored the northern portion of it, but they did not stay. Spain led the exploration, led by Hernan Cortes, who conquered the Aztecs of Mexico. Francisco Pizarro conquered the Peru. Inca. The quest for riches drove the Spanish to enslave the native population to mine for gold and silver, while a desire to convert natives to Catholicism led to the building of missions throughout North and Central and South America, as well as several Caribbean islands. Guns, swords, steel were major contributors to Spain's success because they made the Spanish unstoppable compared to the native weapons. Spain controlled most of the South and Central America, much of the Caribbean, and parts of North America. However, territory that was too large, too difficult to control, it was open for attack. European countries had seen the riches brought back by Spain and were eager to stake a claim. By then, Spain controlled all that territory down there. The French come in late. Giovanni de Verrazzano explored the Atlantic coast between Florida and what is called Newfoundland and established a relationship with the Native American fur trading tribes. Jacques Cartier sailed the Lawrence River, St. Lawrence River down there, solidified those relationships and created new ones with other Native American tribes. Although the French tried to settle in Florida, they were stopped by the Spanish. Initially, the French fished in the Atlantic for cod and salmon, but fur trading was big profit there. fur trade necessitated a few settlers at first. By the 1600s, the French controlled the interior of North America, led by the fur trade. New France and Louisiana far exceeded the size of the British colonies in area, but the area was extremely underpopulated, meaning there was not much people living there. By 1760, only 80,000 lived in New France, which is what is now called the Louisiana Territory. Other French explorers, Samuel de Champlain is the founder of what is now the Quebec, which is the first settlement in North America, French settlement. French priest Jacques Marquette and fur trader Louis Joliet explored the Great Lakes and upper Mississippi River. La Salle explored the lower Mississippi River, claiming the entire valley for France and naming it Louisiana in honor of King Louis XIV. The Dutch, the Netherlands, Henry Hudson, an Englishman hired by the Dutch, came to explore what is now the Hudson River. He established fur trade route, a relationship with modern-day New York. In 1624, Dutch purchased what today is called Manhattan from the Native Americans for about $24 of today's money and called it New Amsterdam. The Dutch West India Company established the colony of what is called New Netherlands when 30 families settled along the Delaware and Hudson rivers and Governor's Island. The Dutch controlled this area until 1664 when the governor surrendered the territory to the British, and then British took over the whole area, naming it New York and all that good stuff there. So this is Hudson's voyage of discovery. Probably want to pause, just kind of take a look at it. One time he came in with as a Dutch explorer, and the second time he came in as an English explorer and discovering what is called the Hudson Bay. Columbian Exchange refers to the interaction between the Old World, which is Europe, and the New World, Americas. Products going from the America to Europe included turkeys, pumpkins, corn, tomatoes, peanuts, tobacco, and other goods. Products going from Europe to America, livestock, including horse, which is a native to Europe, not to America. Grapes, sugarcane, honeybees, and citrus fruits. Europeans also brought diseases including smallpox, malaria, and measles, which basically wiped out thousands of Native Americans. So here is a chart of kind of giving you what, when, and what went from when to where, to what to where, from Europe to Americas. Kind of want to take a look at this. You could pause. Disease played a major role in the colonizers' success. Prior to European arrival, it is estimated there was as many as 50 million people living in Americas. Because of European diseases like smallpox, measles, the disease had never infested North and South America, and the Native Americans had no immune to this disease. As many as 90% of the population was wiped out within 75 years of contact with the Europeans. Disease was the #1 factor that decimated the native population. British interaction with the Native Americans. Other European nations were empires in the New World, frequently intermarried with the people, so they cohabited the territories, which means they get along a little better. British, however, tended to drive away the people. Because of this, there was never a large community of Indians that intermarried with the British, or a combination of Indian and British heritage. So there was much more hostility. There was much more fighting and war going on between the British and the Native Americans. Alright, don't forget that you should take the test afterward. It is only a 5-question test. Take the test, bring your summary with you, and submit one higher order thinking question.